After studying this module, you shall be able to understand what are the secondary markets, know the role of SEBI in monitoring capital markets, learn the concept of stock exchange and its calculations, understand the procedure of listing and delisting of shares, know the trading, rolling and settlement process. What is secondary market? The secondary market, primary markets help in mobilizing funds through issuance of shares or debentures or bonds with the promise that these shares or bonds sold in the secondary market or stock market. Any investor holding shares or bonds needs a mechanism through which he can sell these investments. Secondary markets or stock market is a mechanism which provides exit route to existing investors to find buyers for their securities at a price determined by the market. In effect, secondary markets are resale markets in which existing securities like shares, bonds can be bought or sold. This market provides another great service along with the liquidity. This is known as price discovery. The price of the securities can be thus known on a continuous basis. This helps the investors to take a decision above for sale or purchase of securities. New issue market or IPO market is also dependent on secondary market, as the issuer of new securities is also aware about the price of the securities they have issued, at which they can issue securities based on its demand. On the basis of the sentiments too, they can decide about when to issue fresh securities. It is a well-known fact that most of the issues in the primary market take place when the secondary markets are bullish. Functions of the secondary market. These markets act as a barometer for micro as well as the macro level. Act as platform for marketability and liquidity of the outstanding equity and debt instruments. Provide instant valuation of securities caused by changes in the internal environment of the company and industry factors. Such valuations facilitate the measurement of cost of capital for the company and the rate of return to the investors of the company's shares. To ensure a measure of safety and fair dealing to protect investors' interest. Let us discuss about leading stock exchanges in India. Two exchanges are the most active stock exchanges. These are National Stock Exchange and the Bombay Stock Exchange or BSE. Apart from them, there are 19 more stock exchanges in Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Bhubaneswar, Kochi, Delhi, Guwahati, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Calcutta, Chennai, Ludhiana and Pune. The state level exchanges are not operational because of the excellent trading platform at the national level. The transparency and technology of the BSE and NSE at the nationwide network of the stock market trading has made the investors and brokers move away from the state level exchanges to these national level exchanges. Listing mechanism. Listing of the shares or bonds is a mechanism to include shares and debentures officially on the stock exchange for trading. Securities are required to be listed under Section 9 of the Securities Contract Regulation Act 1956. Thus, listing simply means the inclusion of any security for the purpose of trading in a recognized stock exchange. No company is allowed to come out with a public issue, that is IPO, without its plan to get the shares listed for trading at a stock exchange. Only public companies are allowed to list their securities in the stock exchange. Private limited companies shall first convert themselves into public limited companies in order to get benefit from listing on the stock exchange. It has to pay the listing fees and comply with listing requirements on a continuous basis. Those companies which wish to list their securities have to comply with corporate governance requirements of the stock exchanges along with some other listing requirements of the stock exchange. The prices at which the securities are traded in the stock exchange are decided by the demand and supply of securities. The prices are published in the newspapers. Investors are able to know these price trends from such publications. These prices are transmitted online too nowadays on the business channels or on official website of the stock exchanges. Listing procedure. The company going for listing has to apply to the respective stock exchange and make payment of listing fees as prescribed. It is to be completed before the offer of securities to the public and registration of prospectus with the registrar of companies. After approval from stock exchange, registration and recording is done for the purpose of trading by the registered members of the stock exchange and for the official quotation of security price for the benefit of the public and the investors. In order to refuse the listing, the authorities should intimate the company within 15 days with the reasons for refusal. The company can make an appeal to the central government within a prescribed period. The central government may either grant or refuse to grant the permission for listing, and the decision of the central government would be informed to the stock exchange concerned that shall act in conformity with such a decision. The stock exchange has a right to suspend or withdraw an application of listing in case of any company breach or non-compliance with the listing provision. Company may further appeal to SEBI in this regard. SEBI has initiated steps to set up of a central listing authority to act as a check to enable all the stock exchange companies on which the securities of the companies and mutual funds are going to be listed. Listing agreement. All companies seeking listing of their securities on the exchange are required to enter into a listing agreement with the exchange. Failure to comply with the requirements invites suspension of trading or withdrawal or delisting. In addition to penalty under Securities Contract and Regulation Act 1956, the agreement is being increasingly used as a means to improve corporate governance so as to secure the continuous listing of the securities companies, keep themselves better governed, helping the investors in these companies. Delisting. The securities listed can be delisted from the exchange as per the SEBI Delisting of Securities Guidelines 2003. It can be voluntary or compulsory delisting. Any promoter or acquirer wishing to delist securities of the company voluntarily has to obtain approval of the shareholders of the company by a special resolution passed at its general meeting. There are specific guidelines which the company has to adhere to before listing. Most of the companies who buy back more than 90% of their shares get compulsorily delisted from the stock exchanges. However, the stock exchange may delist companies for non-compliance of listing procedure like non-payment of listing fees. This delisting may be permanent if this non-compliance is exceeded for more than 6 months. The exchange shall provide a time period of 15 days within which any person who may be aggrieved by a proposed delisting may make representation to the exchange. Here we can discuss about certain traded values and their impact cost. The index, in the second column we have the stocks, and then there is free float market capitalization of the stocks on NSE as on June 30, 2004. Then the next column we have the total traded value and then impact cost of the Nifty for portfolio size of rupees 50 lakhs. Role and functions of SEBI. Indian equity markets have had the history of various scams and malpractices of the brokers and other agencies requiring a strong and effective regulatory body. The unfair treatment to the investors community and therefore the lack of confidence in the markets made governments to establish SEBI, an autonomous body. Securities and Exchange Board of India, that is SEBI, was established in 1988 by the Government of India for the smooth functioning of the capital markets. SEBI, being an autonomous board, has independent powers to regulate the financial markets and make guidelines for investors' protection. The primary objective of SEBI is to safeguard interest of investors. Keeping this objective in consideration, it has introduced comprehensive regulatory measures in order to promote the development of securities market and regulate the securities market. SEBI has prescribed the registration norms, codes of obligations for various intermediaries. It has framed rules related to risk management systems. Role or functions of SEBI are given here. SEBI has issued guidelines for investors and educate them through various investors awareness programs. SEBI also looks after complaints received from investors for fair settlement. To regulate and control the day-to-day business on stock exchanges, SEBI has made registration of brokers compulsory and made certain rules for them. SEBI has made rules and regulations for effective supervision of operations and avoid unfair and anti-investor activities by various financial intermediaries. SEBI has encouraged various intermediaries to form their professional associations and control undesirable activities of their members. SEBI has issued suitable guidelines to regulate mergers, takeovers and acquisitions in order to protect investors' interest. SEBI conduct inspections, inquiries and audits of stock exchanges and intermediaries for their orderly working. In order to restrict insider trading activity, SEBI has made certain rules related to disclosure and taken strict action to minimize undesirable activities of brokers and securities scam. Let us discuss the role of stock exchange in buying and selling stocks. Under the overall supervision of regulatory authority, the Securities and Exchange Board of India or SEBI, the stock exchanges provide a trading platform where buyers and sellers can meet and transact in securities. Now the screen-based trading has substituted the traditional system of floor-based open enterprise system of trading. SEBI has been empowered to regulate all the entities connected with the markets like brokers, custodians, companies, merchant bankers, etc. Screen-based trading. Earlier system of trading was through open enterprise system, which was inefficient and time-consuming system. In the system, buyers and sellers had to search for each other on the stock exchange physically. In order to provide transparency, National Stock Exchange introduced an online automated trading system. It is a screen-based system in which orders are punched in terms of quantities and price at which trader wants to execute the transaction. The order gets executed when the counterparty is found at the desired price and quantity. Following are some of the important terms which are associated with screen-based trading. The first one is NEAT or NEAT. NSE used satellite communication technology trading system called National Exchange for Automated Trading or NEAT, a client server based application. The introduction of the NEAT system has improved the efficiency of the NSE trading. The second one is contract note. Contract note is a detailed note which shows number of trades done on a particular day by one client. It is a kind of legal document between client and broker which depicts purchase or sale and settlement of all trades. The document can be used for the purpose of evidence in case of any dispute. Type of orders. There are different types of orders which an investor can place with the stock exchange. The first one is limit orders. When the orders are restricted by putting a fixed price. For example, buy ONGC at rupees 200. Here the order indicates a price at which it has to be bought and the buyer is not willing to give more than rupees 200. Limit orders remain dormant in the system until the limit price is hit. The second one is best rate order. As the name suggests, buyers or sellers give the liberty to the broker to execute the order at the best possible rate quoted on that particular date for buying. It may be the lowest rate for buying and the highest rate for selling. This is also known as market order. The third one is stop loss order. It is a very good mechanism to limit the loss happening due to fluctuations in the market. A particular limit is given for waiting. If the price falls below the limit, the broker is authorized to sell the shares to prevent further loss. For example, buy ONGC Limited at rupees 225, stop loss at rupees 220. Settlement cycle. Settlement cycle may be fixed or rolling. The fixed settlement cycle. A fixed cycle starts on a particular day and ends after 5 days. For example, Bombay Stock Exchange, the settlement cycle used to start on Monday and ends on Friday. And in National Stock Exchange, settlement cycle starts on Wednesday of 1 week and ends on Tuesday of the following week. A pay-in day and a pay-out day follow the settlement cycle. The pay-in day refers to all the buyer brokers depositing the money for the purchase of shares. The payout day refers to the exchange handing over and the proceeds to the seller brokers. If investors purchase 1000 shares of HPLC on Monday, to scale up the position by the end of the settlement, the sale will have to take place before Friday the same week. If the investor does not sell the share, he has to pay a consideration for the broker at the end of the settlement period. The broker collects the payments within 4 days from the end of the settlement cycle from the clients and deposits it with the exchange on the pay-in day. After 4 days, the payout day, the exchange hands over the proceeds to the seller broker. Fixed settlement system does not exist now in any of the stock exchanges. It has been replaced by the rolling system. Rolling settlement. SEBI introduced rolling settlement from January 10, 2000. In a rolling settlement of a T+5 period, trades are settled 5 days from the date of transaction. For example, if an investor buys 20,000 shares of Tata Steel and sold 1,000 shares on Monday, he would be asked to settle the net outstanding, that is 1,000 shares, on the following Monday, that is the 5th day. This means all open positions on a trading day are settled on the 5th working day after the trading day. Now NSE and BSE follow T+2 rolling settlement system. Price filters. Due to fluctuations in the prices which leads to high transaction cost, price filters or circuit filters are introduced. Price range ensures that stock is traded only within the given range. The filters are decided by the exchange authorities, which may be 5% or 20%. Intraday price bands. In intraday price range is fixed and price movement is allowed to vary between that ranges only. For example, at NSE, stocks have a 10% and 5% intraday price bands. Suppose the stock closed on Monday at rupees 500 at the NSE, it would be allowed to trade on Tuesday only in a 10% variation on Monday's close. It would be allowed to trade between rupees 450 and rupees 550. At rupees 555, the system will not accept the trade. The only drawback of intraday price band is that it does not allow for the proper reaction in prices for the given information. These price bands don't apply to the stocks listed in derivative trading. Margins. Margins are additional filters applied by the stock exchanges to curb the price volatility. For every transaction undertaken by the broker, he has to deposit a margin amount with the stock exchange. The margin amount paid is used as a tool to discourage the speculative trading. Margins may be gross exposure margin, net exposure margin, mark-to-market margin. The gross exposure margin. This is the margin which is taken in advance of transactions in order to protect against any default made. This margin limits the risk exposure of the investor by putting an upper limit to his transaction. Net exposure margin. The investor has to deposit margins on the net outstanding positions, that is when purchase is greater than sales. For example, if an investor buys 1 lakh shares of Reliance at rupees 185 and sells only 30,000 for the net outstanding position of 70,000 shares, poses as threat. Hence, he has to deposit a margin for the net exposure of 70,000 shares. This helps investor to curtail the risk involved in heavy purchase without matching sale. Mark to market margin. The above two margins try to stabilize the high transaction volume. Mark to market margin protects the risk rises through price volatility. It is the amount of difference that a buyer or seller has to pay when the market price falls below the transaction price or rises above the transaction price. In the mark to market margin, the trader has to deposit a sum that would be fixed percentage of the product of the difference between the closing, selling and purchasing price and the outstanding net position at the end of the day. Mark to market is applicable mainly in the derivative transactions which are settled on daily basis. Dematerialization. Dematerialization of securities occurs when securities issued in physical form are taken back and an equal number of securities are credited into owner's account in digital entry form. Investor surrenders his or her shares with depository and can be received of risk of theft. The same shares can be further converted into physical form at the request of investors through the process of rematerialization. A DP is an entity which is registered as such with SEBI under the provisions of SEBI Act. Share brokers, financial institutions, banks can be valid DP after registration with SEBI. Benefits of dematerialization to the investors. No risk of theft or forgery, no hassles of paying stamp duty or other fees, no paperwork is involved, transfer of ownership is easy, only one account with depository participant is required to be opened. The company also have benefits like saving lot of cost on paperwork, dispatching of shares and the transfer. The stock index. To gauge the movements of stock markets and to see whether the stock prices in general are going up or going down, one looks towards the stock market index numbers like BSE, Sensex or NSE Nifty. Indices give ready to use summary of historical price levels of the markets. One can also easily establish relationship between different sectoral indices and certain sectors of the economy or the overall economy. An index number is a number which measures the change in a set of values over a period of time. A stock index represents the change in the value of a set of stocks which constitute the index. Precisely, a stock index number is the current relative value of a weighted average of prices of selected stocks. It is a relative value because it is expressed relative to the weighted average of prices at some arbitrarily chosen starting date or the base period. For example, the base year of Sensex is 1978 and NSE Nifty is 1995. The value of 1978 Sensex as base year is taken as 100 and Nifty in 1995 is taken as 1000. Technical analysts make use of index by charting the price levels at various periods of time and detect patterns from it. They form the opinion on the basis of it for buying. A well-constructed market index will give an indication of the prices of the entire population under consideration. Index numbers are also used by various traders in the derivatives market. A market index is a convenient and effective product because it acts as barometer for market reactions and can be used as benchmark for fund performance. Most of the fund managers of the broader market funds attempt to beat these benchmark indices like Sensex or Nifty. Characteristics of good index. The first one is that it should capture the behavior of a large variety of different portfolios from different industries in the market. The index number should be therefore wide enough to incorporate different industries. The stocks included in the index should be highly liquid with a large volume of trading. It should be professionally maintained by a group of highly professional fund managers. A good market index should accurately reflect the behavior of the overall market for a market index as well as of different portfolios of a specific group of industry. A well-diversified index is more representative of the overall market sentiments. An index should contain as many stocks with as little impact cost, that is minimum bid offer spread, as possible. An index should be reviewed on regular basis and sync in line with the current state of market. Methods of calculating stock index. The first one is price weighted index, then there is market capitalization weighted index, then another is free float capitalization. Price weighted index. A price weighted index is the one that gives a weight to each stock that is proportional to its stock price. A popular price weighted stock market index is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, or DJIA. It includes a price weighted average of 30 actively traded blue chip stocks of America. Market capitalization based index. Price weighted index is biased in favor of those companies whose share price is high even if they are small sized in terms of their equity. In a market capitalization weighted index, each stock in the index affects the index value in proportion to the market value or the capitalization value of all shares outstanding. In this type of index, the equity price is weighted by the market capitalization of the company. For example, S&P 500 and FTSE 100 are based on market capitalization method. Free float market capitalization method. Most of the prominent indices all over the world have moved from market capitalization method to free float market capitalization method of index numbers. Free float market capitalization method is calculated by multiplying readily available shares in the market for trading with the market price. It excludes promoters holding, government holding and other locked in shares. For example, all BSE index, Nasdaq 100 are free float market capitalization index numbers. Here we have some companies which have issued their stocks outstanding, and there are certain stocks available in the open market, and in next column we have the market price, then we have market capitalization method, and then we have the free float method. So here we have certain companies and you can see their indexes. We have ONGC, we have Gujarat Gas Limited, then there is Cairn India and Bharat Petroleum and Oil India Limited. Some popular indices at NSE and BSE. Standard & Poor's CNX Nifty, or simply Nifty 50. CNX stand for Credit Rating Information Services of India Limited, or CRISIL, and the National Stock Exchange of India, NSE. S&P CNX Nifty is a well diversified 50 stock index accounting for 22 sectors of the economy. In preceding years, the index were made out of judgment and lack of any scientific base, but nowadays it is based on strong research. It not only acts as barometer but also acts as foundation for development of various financial new products like index futures, index options and index funds. S&P CNX Nifty is owned and managed by India Index Services and Products Limited, or IISL. Recently, S&P CNX has moved away from NSE to join BSE for their index Sensex. BSE Sensex is known as S&P Sensex after S&P Dow Jones tying up with the BSE. S&P CNX Nifty therefore is known as CNX Nifty Index. CNX Defty. S&P CNX Defty is CNX Nifty measured in dollars. It is performance indicator to foreign institutional investors, offshore funds, etc. It provides an effective tool for hedging Indian equity exposure. As it is measured in dollars, it provides an instrument for measuring returns in dollars for foreign investors. S&P CNX 500. The CNX 500 is India's first broad-based benchmark of the Indian capital market. It encompasses almost all kinds of industries with a fair representation. CNX 500 companies are disaggregated into 72 industry indices with CNX industry indices. Industry weightages in the index reflect the industry weightages in the market. For example, if the infrastructure sector has a 5% weightage on NSE, infra stocks in the index would also have near to 5% in an index. It is a replica of S&P 500. S&P Sensex. For gauging the movements of Bombay Stock Exchange listed stocks, Sensex is used as a barometer. The BSE Sensex or the Bombay Stock Exchange Sensitive Index is comprised of 30 stocks taken April 1979 as a base year. It consists of 30 largest and most actively traded stocks representative of various sectors on the Bombay Stock Exchanges. These companies account for around 1/5 of the market capitalization of the BSE, and P index is a replica of Dow Jones 30. Now let us summarize. Secondary market or stock market is a mechanism which provides exit route to existing investors who find buyers for their securities at a price determined by the market. Secondary markets act as barometers at micro and macro level. Secondary market is divided into two segments, equity and derivative segment. Listing is a mechanism to include shares and debentures officially on the stock exchange for trading. Securities are required to be listed under Section 9 of the Securities Contract Regulation Act 1956. Securities and Exchange Board of India, or SEBI, being an autonomous body, was established in 1988 by the Government of India for the smooth functioning of the capital markets and acts as a regulator. A stock index number is the current relative value of a weighted average of the prices of the selected stocks. That's all with this module. Thank you.